Now we are going to continue speaking of trust. How can we build an environment of trust? We are going to ask this question to Nassima Auvray in strategy and cloud solutions at OBS, and Patrick Fasso, who is going to meet us digital. He'll be online, director of technical aspects at Radio France.
Bonjour Nassima, comment ça va?
Hello Nassima, how are you? Hello Asha, hello everyone. Yes, there are many people in the room. Hello Patrick, how are you Patrick?
Bonjour à toutes et tous. Oui, ça va, ça va.
Ah, super. On a du son.
Great.
Donc tout va bien.
We can hear you.
Bienvenue à tous les deux. Donc,
welcome to both of you.
suivi, on l'a entendu, on vient de le dire.
So you heard us today, we're talking about trust. The topic right now is sovereignty and trusting digital. What does this mean to you? So I just wanted to say that digital sovereignty is a very complex topic because there are many different definitions, and that today there is not a legal definition of this. So I'm going to give you a few examples. Donc, for some people, digital sovereignty is the continuation of a state's cybersecurity. And for some people, it is the mastering of all of the cybersecurity. And so it's a very complex topic. In my work, I get to meet with many different people, very varied. It could be in the private or in the public sector, big businesses and international businesses. And we see that more and more people have more expectations when it comes to cybersecurity. And so these definitions, they bring up the questions: what are the limits of cybersecurity? Where are the borders? And when we talk of mastering technologically this, is it on the level of servers, or as you can see, it's a very complex question. However, we keep seeing the same needs. These needs are based on a few challenges. The first would be in regards to regulation. How can we have a framework that protects the users and the data? There are also geological, geopolitical and geographical challenges. And also, how do we manage in a time of crisis? And also when we're dealing with very sensitive data, by a third party or by a third state. There are, of course, technological challenges. We talk about cybersecurity in regards with having solutions that are one step forward, one step in front of the impending threat. And so, Patrick, what is your vision of digital sovereignty? As Nassima was saying, there's not one definition. It is omnipresent. And the interpreter apologizes. There's an echo that makes interpreting very difficult. It needs to innovate. And so, depending on the different situation, sovereignty will look different. So one of the things it needs to do is it needs to maintain security. For example, for Radio France, it needs to protect data. And once we have these points, these criteria have been answered, we need to have
dans cette logique de souveraineté numérique. Voilà. Donc on voit bien que ça prend des formes très
The interpreter apologizes. The echo is very difficult to interpret.
Donc c'est assez large, Nassima. Donc quelle est la posture de
Nassima,
OBS?
where does OBS stand in regards to sovereignty?
Pour décrire la posture d'OBS, je pense qu'il est intéressant
To,
de revenir sur le fait
it's
que
important to look
c'est finalement l'association, et on l'a dit tout
first
à
that
l'heure,
OBS
d'un opérateur
is
de
an
communication et
telecommunications
d'un intégrateur de
operator,
solutions digitales.
but also an integrator of
Nous avons des
solutions,
infrastructures
digital
qui sont
solutions.
Ces infrastructures,
So we
elles sont
have
soumises à
infrastructure
un
that
grand
is
nombre
very
d'exigences
important,
en matière de résilience,
and
en
we
matière
have
de
to be
fiabilité, de disponibilité,
resilient,
en matière de
available,
sécurité
and there
aussi,
has
et
to
au plan
be
réglementaire, au travers
very
de ce qu'on
secure.
appelle les obligations légales. Donc,
These
j'aurais
are
tendance à
based
dire
on
que
our
la
legal
souveraineté numérique, c'est
obligations.
très concret pour Orange Business Services, et ça passe déjà par
And
ces
so
différentes.
we need to have these
En
are very
complément,
fundamental
parler
points.
d'intégrateurs de solutions
So
digitales,
when we're talking
au
about
quotidien,
being an
nous
integrator
accompagnons
of digital
une
solutions,
variété
we
d'acteurs
support
autour des de ces
different
solutions. Ces
businesses
solutions,
and
nous les développons en
parties
partie,
with
et, Aliette Mounier-Lompré l'a dit tout
with
à l'heure,
giving them
on a
support
une
with
très forte expertise sur toute la chaîne de valeur
solutions.
numérique, depuis la connectivité jusqu'au traitement de la
We
donnée,
work with
en passant par
connectivity
le
and,
stockage ou encore la
of
cybersécurité.
course,
Et puis,
cybersecurity.
nous intégrons aussi des solutions de
And we
partenaires
also
qui sont
integrate
présents aujourd'hui.
solutions
Ça peut
with
être des éditeurs
partners,
de logiciels,
could
ça peut être
be
des fournisseurs
different
aussi de matériel informatique et numérique.
providers of
Confiance numérique,
different
avec une petite
services.
nuance finalement par rapport à ce qu'on s'est dit tout à l'heure. Notre posture est que pour
And
nous, la
so
confiance
our
numérique,
position
c'est
is that
finalement la
having
capacité
trust
à
in
pouvoir
cybersecurity is
activer des expertises,
the
d'une part,
capacity of
et
being able
d'autre
to have
part, aussi des leviers technologiques, des
certain
leviers
services,
juridiques et réglementaires,
but
c'est
also
important, partenariats,
following
de
the
façon à
different
pouvoir apporter des
legislation
garanties qui sont, je dirais, adaptées
and giving
à la
solutions that are
typologie de la
adapted
donnée et à
to
l'usage qu'on souhaite
the
en faire
data
aussi.
and also the
Donc,
usage that
si
we
je vais
want
un
to
tout
make of
petit peu
it.
plus loin,
So if we
on
can
n'est
go a
pas
little
dans une
further,
posture de
we are
protectionnisme,
not
mais plutôt
in
dans
a
une posture
protective
qui consiste
framework.
à dire appuyons-nous, cherchons à
We are better
maîtriser
looking
une
to
expertise clé, et en même
master
temps, soyons
an
maîtres
expertise,
aussi
but
de nos
also
dépendances et du choix de nos dépendances.
what we depend on and our choices of our dependencies.
Parler d'Europe. Donc ça s'inscrit
So
dans
we
une
can't
démarche
speak of this without speaking of Europe.
Alors, bien
This is,
évidemment,
of course,
souveraineté
a
numérique aujourd'hui,
European
sans,
thing,
démarche
of course.
s'inscrit en effet dans l'Europe. On voit que la
In
Commission
Europe, we see
européenne
that the
est
European
très
Commission
active
is
sur ces
very
questions-là.
active
Donc,
on
on
these
est avant
issues.
tout, une entreprise
We are, first of all,
européenne. Bien évidemment, on est très
European
impliqué
business.
sur
We are
grand nombre de
very
projets,
involved in different
pilotés par la
projects,
Commission
projects that are
européenne,
piloted by the
l'Agence pour le
European
cloud, l'Edge
Commission, for
data.
example,
Il y a le
cloud
projet
and
de
data.
cloud
There's
et de
also a project of
data,
cloud
qui s'appelle GaiaX, pour
that
lequel
calls
on a investi.
GaiaX,
Donc, tout à
and we
l'heure,
have invested in
vous aurez
this.
notamment l'occasion,
You will have
d'échanger sur
the
notamment
opportunity
un projet,
to
phare et concret,
talk
qui
about
s'appelle
a
Agri
project
Startup avec
that
Agri
we
Startup.
have put into place
Et
later
puis,
on.
on a aussi des partenariats. Donc, je
And we
parlais
also
tout
have
à l'heure
different
de
partnerships,
partenariats dans le monde entier.
partnerships in the
Lorsque
whole
c'est
world.
nécessaire, on peut nouer, tisser des partenariats
And we
avec des
can
acteurs français
also
européens.
create
Il y
partnerships
a un
with
exemple concret,
French
sur un ministère
actors.
régalien qui est le ministère de la Justice.
For example, the Minister of Justice in Gaia.
Avec notamment Crosscall qui est présent
There is
aujourd'hui.
Crosscall, who is also present today, and Streamwhite. So, Patrick, what are the challenges of and the needs of Radio France in terms of sovereignty?
En termes de souveraineté, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, on a des
As I mentioned
activités
before,
spécifiques, des
we have a
déclinaisons
specific
de métiers très
activity.
différents. Donc si on essaie de les décrire, on a déjà besoin.
I'm going to try and describe our needs.
C'est une feuille de route commune au groupe de garantir la continuité de service, ça fait partie de
We need to be
principales.
able to continue providing our service.
De trouver des
We also need to find trusted partners to make this happen.
Les services collaboratifs notamment.
We need a collaborative services.
L'ensemble des métiers d'une entreprise, que ce soit des métiers de contenu.
For example, it could be for creating content or for support. And we're trying to put into place a strategy that some of our activities are sovereign, but not all. Certain activities are eligible in this domain. For example, the production of content, which is the heart of our activity, needs to be the interpreter apologizes. The echo makes it very difficult to interpret. Of course, also broadcasting is a very important part of our activity. Once we create the content, we need to be able to broadcast it. We develop podcasts. This forces us to think of our
distribution directe en hertzien et évidemment la distribution numérique, notamment pour la partie podcast. Donc voilà, tout ça dans un
all of this
de service H24/7
is a service that we need to be able to provide 24 hours a day. So being able to provide our services 24 hours a day is very, very important for us. And then there are the different parts of Radio France. We have France Bleu and other components, and the needs are different for each department. How can you guarantee a trusted environment for your clients? So I'm going to take the example of the cloud and the multi-cloud, because these are topics services that we provide to Radio France. First thing that we see is that the multi-cloud there's been a lot of studies that have been done on this. The multi-cloud allows us to provide a better offer, and there's a better usage of it, and it's also very resilient. If ever there's an issue with the cloud provider, we have a backup. And so, based on this, on the topic of this trusted environment, we try and orchestrate these multi-cloud environments to make sure that it's always adapted to the usage, and for the business, and also for the data that's being treated. We base ourselves on two pillars: our infrastructures and our data centers. There are many different solutions for private clouds and public clouds. And our experts integrate and supervise and secure these different clouds. And the second pillar, services managed on partners' platforms. And this will bring a different trusted environment, which will be different than the main platform. It's important to find the best association between the innovation brought by the cloud, which is what we look for in a cloud, and also all of the security that comes for the data. So Bleu is the joint venture between Capgemini and Orange. How can we bring together these two worlds to be able to respond to our clients' needs today? Patrick, would you like to react to what was just said? Why did you choose OBS, and how does this partnership look like to you? So we share the same vision in regards to the multi-cloud and to the multi-services. We need the offer in the cloud is very varied and very rich. And so we were happy to be with OBS because we have the same approach and allows us to go forward and to choose the services that we need in a very natural way. And then with OBS, we've worked over the course of the last few months on the governance aspects to be able to create hybrid solutions, multi-cloud solutions. to be able to orchestrate, because this is really the heart of the subject. It's very important to us in our trajectory, in our development trajectory, to be able to depend on these multi-cloud services. Outside of this, I just wanted to say that we are working with OBS in other topics and strategic topics, interconnectivity of our entire network, our local network. This is a very important topic for us. These are services that are hugely important to us when we work in radio and in music. We've also developed with OBS a project for evolution, so technology, very important for us. This is the same in regards to multi-service, be it on the cloud or not. So with OBS, we share the same approach. So what would be the next step in this partnership, Patrick? Well, the next step would be we go from a technological opportunity to a real orchestration of all these services. And this is work that we've already started with Nassima. Today we will try to, over the 4 to 5 years, we'll have a plan. And this is to improve the work of our teams. We talk a lot about digital transformation, but it also means to help the teams evolve, teams who are used to working on more traditional platforms. And so this is our objective for the next months and the next years. Nassima, what is the priority for you in digital trust? Yes, Patrick, we would love to continue this partnership with Radio France. Digital trust, there's this link that we have with our clients, and it's important for us to talk about that. In regards of our priority, there are 3 priorities. So we're going to go on the regulation, on the technology, and on the human side. So regulation, the digital trust is very complex. There's a lot of different certifications, and this allows us to show how robust our solutions are. I'm not going to go into detail about all the different certifications that we have, but we do have many certifications. In connectivity, we have certifications internationally. So we're going to keep working on this, especially in our key fields as cloud, to have national and international certifications. And then secondly, when it comes to technology, we have a lot of expertise in data. We are developing solutions. We have a lot of issues when it comes to ethical issues, for example, artificial intelligence. There's, of course, the blockchain and many other ethical issues. And then to go a little further, we would like to build with our partners and clients indicators that allow KPIs that allow people to give a level of trust to the things that we develop. And then on the third point, this isn't a scoop, but when it comes to human resources, we talk about the war of talents. We talk about this quite a bit. And so since we're talking about digital trust, we would like to capitalize on this expertise. to have expertise on key subjects, men and women, and then also be able to choose on what we are dependent and to offer that to our clients. Okay, Patrick, you have 1 minute left if you have something to add. I just wanted to reiterate that, as I say often, that we have the same DNA, I think, when it comes to the continuity of our services. What's interesting in the subject matter that we and the work that we do together in the cloud, these service solutions are very important for us. The diagnostic side is also very important for us, and what's essential for us too, and what's essential for Radio France in the next few years, and this is something that our CEO takes very seriously, everything that's related to the RSE. We are hoping that our partners and OBS will be able to help us in the next months and the next years. So, trust and sovereignty, they have different forms. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Patrick Fasso, and thank you, Nassima. Please applaud our speakers.